Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something I've learned through life, through pain, through struggle, and through success. You don't owe anybody a defense of who you are. You don't have to explain your dream, your purpose, or your journey to anyone who didn't help build it. People will talk. People will misunderstand you. People will twist your words, doubt your heart, and question your motives. But listen to me carefully. You don't have to defend yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. People's opinions don't define your truth. That's one of the most powerful lessons you could ever learn in life. Too many people walk around carrying the weight of other people's opinions on their backs, letting their peace, confidence, and purpose be crushed by the words of those who don't even know them. You can't live your life trying to fit into the expectations of others, because no matter what you do, someone will always have something to say. If you succeed, they'll say you got lucky. If you fail, they'll say they knew you couldn't do it. If you speak your truth, they'll call you arrogant. And if you stay quiet, they'll call you weak. So what does that tell you? It tells you that people will talk regardless. And that means you can't give their opinions power over your truth. Your truth is built on your experiences, your struggles, your lessons, and your growth. Nobody has walked your path but you. Nobody knows what it took for you to keep going when everything inside you said quit. Nobody knows the nights you cried, the prayers you whispered, the faith you held on to when the world doubted you. So why would you let someone who hasn't lived your pain define your worth? You can't let someone who's never worn your shoes tell you how far you should walk. When you understand that, you free yourself from the prison of people pleasing. Because the truth is, most people don't even know what they want for themselves. Yet they have opinions about your life. You've got to learn to separate perception from reality. People will always see you through the lens of their own experiences, insecurities, and fears. Some people criticize what they secretly admire. They project their doubts onto you because they see in you what they wish they had. The courage to chase something real. So when they talk, let them. Let them misunderstand you, let them judge you, let them gossip about you, because none of that changes the truth about who you are and what you're capable of. The more you chase validation, the further you drift from your true self. Validation is a drug. It gives you a momentary high, but leaves you empty when it wears off. The real strength comes from knowing who you are even when nobody claps for you. So when you stop living for other people's approval, you start living in your power. That's when peace enters your life, because you no longer react to every opinion that comes your way. You realize that not every comment deserves a response, and not every critic deserves your attention. You stop trying to convince others to believe in your vision and start putting that energy into making it real. The best response to doubt is success. The best way to silence critics is to become everything they said you couldn't. When you know your truth, their words lose their power. You can walk through storms and still smile because you know who's walking beside you. You are not defined by your mistakes, your past, or the opinions of others. You are defined by how you rise after every fall, how you love when it's hard, and how you keep going when it would be easier to give up. People will try to label you, but remember, labels only stick if you let them. They can call you anything they want, but their words can't touch your truth unless you hand them that power. So walk tall, walk proud, and walk free, because when you truly believe in your truth, no opinion, no gossip, and no criticism can shake your foundation. The moment you stop letting people define you, you start defining your destiny. Silence is more powerful than arguments. In a world that constantly demands a response, it takes real strength to stay quiet. Most people think silence means weakness, that you've got nothing to say or no courage to fight back. But in reality, silence is a weapon. only the wise know how to use. When someone attacks you with lies or insults, your first instinct is to defend yourself, to explain, to prove them wrong. But every time you argue with ignorance, you give it life. You feed it with your attention. You waste your peace trying to convince people who have already made up their minds. Silence, on the other hand, speaks volumes without uttering a word. It says, I'm above this. It says, you can't pull me down to your level. It says, I know my truth and I don't owe you an explanation. Silence is not about weakness. It's about control. It's choosing your battles wisely and knowing when a response is not worth the energy. When you learn to be silent, you stop reacting emotionally to every little thing. You start observing instead of absorbing. You start seeing who's really for you and who's just there to test you. People who want to stir chaos will always be frustrated by your calmness. They'll try to push your buttons. They'll try to get a reaction. But when they realize they can't shake your peace, that's when they lose their power. Silence disarms people. It confuses those who expected drama. It makes them question themselves because they can't feed off your reaction anymore. When you argue, you put yourself on the same level as the person trying to bring you down. But when you stay silent, you rise above it. You show maturity, discipline, and emotional intelligence. Silence is not about avoiding confrontation. It's about maintaining your dignity, because sometimes the loudest response is no response at all. When someone lies about you when they talk behind your back, you don't need to chase them down trying to set the record straight. Time has a way of revealing what's real. The truth doesn't need defending. It just needs patience. Let people say what they want. Let them create stories. You just keep doing what you do, and eventually your success will speak louder than their gossip ever could. There's peace in silence. It allows you to hear your own thoughts, to stay connected to your purpose, and to protect your energy. You can't move forward in life if you're constantly distracted by the noise of other people's opinions. Every time you respond to negativity, you delay your own progress. But when you stay silent, you save your energy for what truly matters: your growth, your goals, your peace. You don't owe anyone a reaction. You don't have to explain your decisions, your progress, or your past. The people meant for you will understand your silence. And the ones who don't were never meant to understand you in the first place. Sometimes silence is also a form of strength and faith. It's saying, I ain't need to fight this battle because God's already handling it. When you know that truth, you stop explaining, you stop defending, and you start stressing. You start trusting that what's meant for you will come to you, and what's not meant will fall away without your interference. Silence is peace, silence is power, and silence is clarity. Because in silence, you're not reacting, you're reflecting. You're listening to your inner voice instead of the outside noise. And when you master the power of silence, you no longer chase validation or revenge. You rise above it all. And that's where your true power lives. Let your results speak for you. There comes a time in life when words just aren't enough. You can talk all you want about your dreams, your goals, and your plans, but none of it means anything until you put in the work and let your results do the talking. People might doubt you, they might laugh at you, and they might not believe in your vision. That's fine, because the most powerful response you can ever give them is success. You don't need to argue, you don't need to explain, and you don't need to convince anyone. Just keep your head down, stay focused, and let your achievements tell your story. Your results will silence every critic, every hater, and every person who said you couldn't do it. The truth is, people respect consistency more than conversation. Talk fades fast, but results last. When people see your progress, when they see your discipline, when they see you moving in silence and winning loudly, That's when they realize your strength. You don't have to make announcements every time you take a step forward. You don't have to post every move you make. Some of the greatest victories happen in private. The real power lies in working quietly and letting your success echo loudly. Because when you achieve something, it speaks a language that no amount of defense or explanation ever could. When you focus on producing results, you shift your energy from talking about your potential to proving it. You stop wasting time trying to make people believe in you, and you start showing them why they should have. People can ignore your words, but they can't ignore your growth. You might start at the bottom, you might be overlooked, but the moment your results show up, everything changes. Those same people who doubted you will start asking how you did it. And that's when you realize you never had to defend yourself at all. You just had to keep going. Letting your results speak for you also teaches you patience. Because success doesn't happen overnight. It's built in the dark, one decision, one failure, one comeback at a time. You have to stay focused even when nobody's watching. Even when nobody's clapping. You have to be okay with being misunderstood for a while, because eventually your results will make everything clear. The effort you put in, the sacrifice you made, the discipline you showed, it will all come to light. So don't rush to prove your worth through words. Let your consistency and dedication reveal it in time. You see, the most powerful people aren't the ones who talk the loudest. They're the ones whose actions speak for them. You can't argue with results. You can't debate with success. You can't deny progress. That's why when people try to discredit you or talk behind your back, the best thing you can do is keep working. Because while they're talking, you're transforming. While they're doubting, you're developing. And when the results finally show up, you don't need to say a single word. Your work will speak on your behalf louder than any defense ever could. So the next time someone questions your ability or mocks your dream, don't argue, don't defend. Just say to yourself, watch me work. Let them think what they want, let them say what they will, because in time your results will answer every question and silence every critic. Remember, people forget words, but they never forget outcomes. Your results are your reputation, your proof, and your legacy. So stay focused on building, not proving. Because when your results start speaking, the same people who doubted your voice will be forced to listen to your success. Growth happens when you stop explaining yourself to small minds. One of the biggest obstacles to personal growth is the constant need to be understood by everyone. The truth is, not everyone will understand your journey, and that's perfectly fine. Some people are not meant to. When you try to explain your vision to people who can't see beyond their own limits, you waste energy that could have been spent building your future. You can't expect small minds to grasp big dreams. You can't expect limited thinkers to understand limitless faith. Growth begins the moment you stop shrinking yourself to fit into the narrow expectations of others. When you start evolving, not everyone around you will clap. Some will question your change, some will criticize it, and some will even feel threatened by it. That's because your growth exposes their stagnation. Your progress becomes a mirror that reflects their lack of effort. So they'll try to make you doubt yourself. They'll label you as arrogant or say you've changed for the worse. But don't let that shake you. You're not supposed to stay the same. Life is about movement, and those who refuse to grow will always resist the ones who do. Explaining yourself to them is like trying to teach color to someone who insists on living in black and white. They won't get it, and it's not your job to make them. The moment you stop explaining, you reclaim your focus. Every time you justify your decisions to people who don't share your vision, you slow down your progress. You start questioning your own choices because you're too busy defending them. Growth requires confidence in your path even when nobody else sees it. Sometimes God will give you a dream so big that it doesn't make sense to anyone but you. And that's okay. You don't need a committee's approval to walk your purpose. The people who truly belong in your life will understand your silence, not demand your explanation. They'll trust your heart, even when they don't understand your process. As you grow, you'll also outgrow people, habits, and environments that no longer serve you. That's not betrayal. That's evolution. But when you start detaching from what used to define you, others will notice. They'll ask why you've changed, why you're not as available, why you're more focused now. You don't owe them an explanation. Growth requires distance. It requires quiet time to reflect, to heal, and to realign. Not everyone can come with you to the next level, and not everyone deserves access to your transformation. Some people were only meant to be lessons, not lifelong companions. When you accept that, you free yourself from the guilt of outgrowing others. Explaining yourself too often is a form of self-doubt. It means you're still seeking permission to be who you are. But the truth is, you don't need permission to change. You don't need validation to evolve. Growth is personal and it's sacred. You don't need to justify your healing, your boundaries, or your peace. You don't need to convince anyone that you're doing better. Your energy will speak for itself. The people who are meant to understand will simply feel it. The ones who don't were never meant to join your journey in the first place. So stop apologizing for your growth. Stop watering yourself down to make others comfortable. Stop explaining your purpose to people who refuse to see beyond their own fears. You owe no explanation for the changes that bring you peace and progress. Growth is not about being understood. It's about becoming. It's about stepping into who you were meant to be, even if that means walking alone for a while. Because when you stop explaining yourself to small minds, you make room for greater opportunities, stronger relationships, and deeper peace. Your growth doesn't need approval, it just needs commitment. Protect your peace, not your pride. There will come a time in life when you must decide what truly matters. Winning every argument or keeping your peace of mind. Pride wants to prove a point, but peace wants to move on. Pride keeps you in battles that don't deserve your energy, but peace reminds you that walking away is not weakness, it's wisdom. Too many people lose their joy, their focus, and even their purpose because they keep trying to protect their pride instead of their peace. They want to be right so badly that they forget to be happy. But real strength is found in the ability to let go, to rise above, and to choose calm over chaos. Protecting your peace means understanding that not everything deserves your attention. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to respond to every insult thrown your way. Some people live for drama, and if you keep feeding it, you'll end up drained. Peace is priceless, and once you taste it, you'll stop trading it for temporary satisfaction. You'll realize that silence doesn't mean defeat. It means you value your mental and emotional stability more than the need to prove yourself. You can't control what others say or do, but you can always control how you respond, and sometimes the best response is none at all. When you protect your peace, you also protect your purpose. You can't build, grow, or create anything meaningful if your mind is always consumed by negativity. Peace gives you clarity. It allows you to think, to breathe, to see things from a higher perspective. But pride clouds your judgment. It makes you act from emotion instead of intention. It convinces you to fight battles that don't even matter in the long run. Pride wants to win in the moment, but peace wants to win in life. When you learn that difference, you start choosing peace every time. Because peace will lead you where pride never could. to happiness, stability, and true fulfillment. There will always be people who test your patience, misunderstand your kindness, or try to disturb your calm. That's when you must stand firm and protect your inner world. Don't let anyone pull you into their chaos. You work too hard to find your peace to let someone else take it away. The more you grow, the more you'll realize that peace is not just silence, it's strength. It's the ability to stay centered when everything around you is trying to pull you off balance. It's saying, I choose me, I choose calm, I choose growth. You don't have to explain that choice to anyone. You don't have to justify it. Your peace is your responsibility, and nobody else can guard it for you. Protecting your peace also means setting boundaries without guilt. It's okay to distance yourself from people who drain your energy or disrespect your values. It's okay to say no without feeling selfish. It's okay to walk away from arguments that go nowhere. You're not weak for choosing peace. You're wise. Because not every situation deserves your reaction, and not every opinion deserves your attention. The moment you stop defending your pride and start defending your peace, you start living free. You start reacting out of anger and start responding with purpose. You begin to master yourself, and that's the highest form of power there is. So let others think what they want. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand. You don't owe them your energy or your explanation. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself rest. You owe yourself the freedom to move forward without carrying the weight of unnecessary conflict. Pride wants applause, but peace wants growth. And in the end, peace will always win, because peace keeps you grounded, focused, and in alignment with your higher purpose. Protect it fiercely, because once you lose it, everything else starts to fall apart. Time will always reveal the truth about who you are. You don't need to rush to defend yourself when people misunderstand you, lie about you, or question your intentions. Just keep living, keep doing what's right, and keep walking in your purpose. Time is a way of uncovering everything that words can't. You don't have to prove your innocence, your loyalty, or your character to anyone, because eventually the truth will come out, and when it does, it speaks louder than any argument ever could. People may misjudge you for a season, but time always exposes what's real. The same people who doubted you today will one day see that your silence wasn't weakness, it was confidence in the truth. Life has a strange way of balancing itself. Lies might run fast, but truth never gets tired. It may take time, but it always catches up. So when people talk behind your back, when they twist your words, or when they paint false pictures about you, stay calm. Don't get caught up trying to correct every false story. The truth doesn't need a lawyer. It just needs patience. The more you try to fight for validation, the more you lose your peace. But when you trust time, when you let life unfold naturally, you'll see how everything hidden eventually comes to light. Time reveals who was genuine and who was pretending, who stood by you and who used you, who loved you and who only loved what you could do for them. The beauty of time is that it never lies. You might be surrounded by people who misunderstand you, who misjudge your intentions, but as time passes, your consistency will tell your story. Time proves character better than any defense ever could. Because character is not built in words. It's built in how you live, how you treat people, and how you keep your heart clean even when others try to stain it. Keep showing up, keep doing good, and keep walking with integrity. You don't have to fight to be seen or understood. Just stay true to yourself, because the truth you live will outlast the lies told about you. When you trust time, you also learn patience. It's not easy to stay quiet when you're being attacked or misunderstood, but that's where real strength is tested. Anybody can fight back, but it takes discipline to stand still and let time handle it. Sometimes the greatest revenge is not proving them wrong immediately, is letting your life become undeniable evidence of your truth. Time has a way of turning your silence into a statement and your endurance into testimony. The people who judge you too soon will eventually realize they were wrong. And when that day comes, you won't even need to say, "I told you so." Your peace will say it for you. Don't rush the process. The truth takes time because it's been built through your actions, your consistency, and your growth. You're writing your story one decision at a time. And when the full picture is revealed, it will be clear why you stayed silent. Sometimes God keeps you hidden while he builds your strength and shapes your path. He lets people underestimate you so that when the truth is revealed, there's no doubt that it was him working through you. So instead of worrying about what others are saying, focus on what you're becoming. Time will make everything make sense. In the end, truth and time walk hand in hand. Lies might sparkle for a while, but they can't stand the test of time. Your job isn't to rush the truth, it's to live it. The people who truly matter will see it, the rest never will, and that's okay. Keep moving, keep believing, and let time handle the rest. Because when it's all said and done, time will always reveal who was fake, who was faithful, and who you really are. And the truth will always set you free.